I served him breakfast with trembling hands, watching the man I had once promised forever to flirt with another woman across the dining table. He didn't recognize me, not even a flicker of familiarity in his eyes. And yet I remembered everything, his laugh, his late-night talks, the way his voice softened when he was scared. I knew this man better than he knew himself. What kind of woman becomes a maid in her ex-husband's house? The kind who's broken, or maybe the kind who's finally ready to find the truth. James and I had been married for 3 years. It wasn't always perfect, but it was real. We struggled, like most young couples. He worked in corporate finance. I was a nurse. We were trying to save for a house, dreaming of children, always planning for someday. Then one day everything shattered. No fights, no infidelity that I knew of. Just one evening, he walked in with a hollow look and handed me divorce papers. "It's for the best," he said. I stood there numb, begging for an explanation that never came. He left, moved out within a week. No messages, no closure. A year passed. I tried to move on, took on longer shifts, moved into a shared hostel with other women who knew the sting of being left behind. But just when I thought I was starting to breathe again, a strange letter arrived. No name, no return address. Just a typed message that said, "You left too soon. He's in trouble. Come back, but don't come as his wife. Come as the help." At first, I thought it was a cruel joke, but my curiosity kept scratching at the door of my heart. Something in those words felt urgent, real. I couldn't ignore it. I changed my name, straightened my curls, wore glasses I didn't need. Through a cleaning agency, I applied to work in a large estate on the other side of the city. I didn't know it was his, until I stepped into the marble-tiled hallway and saw the family portrait on the wall. James. Older, sharper, still devastatingly handsome. Beside him stood a woman, tall, elegant, sharp-eyed, Alicia. He didn't recognize me, not even when I handed him coffee with the same trembling hand I used to hold his in bed. He barely looked at me. Most days, he was buried in phone calls or business meetings. But I watched, and I listened. There was something wrong. He was drinking too much. He seemed stressed, exhausted. Alicia was always present, too present. She made decisions for him, dismissed staff, took calls that were meant for him. She had control over the finances, the passwords, everything. One night I stayed late, pretending to scrub the floors. James had passed out on the couch after a few glasses of scotch. His phone lit up with a message I couldn't ignore. "Transfer the money tomorrow. He won't suspect a thing." My heart raced. The next day, while dusting his office, I found something, an unlabeled USB tucked behind a photo frame. Curiosity got the better of me. I plugged it into the house computer, and what I found made me sick. Account transfers, false invoices, shell companies, fraud. But James wasn't stealing. He was being robbed. Everything led back to Alicia. She was draining his accounts and redirecting funds to an overseas account in her name. He was the fall guy, and he didn't even know. I needed proof. I printed the files and left them on his desk, beside a note that simply read, "She's not who you think she is. But then again, neither am I." That night, the house exploded into chaos. James confronted her. Voices echoed down the hall. Accusations, screams, shattered glass. I stayed hidden until I heard my name. Well, the name she knew me by. "She's the one who's been snooping around your little maid." James turned to me, confused, angry, betrayed. I stepped out slowly and removed my scarf. "It's me," I said, voice shaking. "It's Sophie." He stared at me like he'd seen a ghost, his jaw clenched. He didn't speak. Alicia, realizing her game was up, grabbed her purse and bolted. The next morning she was gone. We sat in silence that night, just the two of us. I told him everything, about the letter, about the files, about pretending to be someone else. And finally he told me his side. He hadn't left me because he stopped loving me. He left because someone had threatened him, said if he didn't disappear from my life, something would happen to me. He believed them, and he thought leaving me would save me. But it only broke us both. In the days that followed, James cleared his name with the help of the evidence I'd found. Alicia fled the country, and as for me, I packed my things and left the house one final time. This time not as a maid, but as a woman who had finally taken her power back. Months passed. I went back to nursing. Slowly, the wounds began to heal. One rainy evening, James showed up at the hospital. No flowers, just my favourite takeout and a nervous smile. "Would you say yes if I asked again?" he said quietly. I laughed. "Only if I get to keep the uniform. I might need it again." Sometimes you have to become invisible to be seen. Sometimes love doesn't die. It just gets buried under lies. And sometimes, being the maid is how you rescue the man you once thought was lost forever.